Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Flams, looking at the monitor behind me there, so that kind of a thing should be in front of me, but that's the way it is. So, but good morning. I trust that things are the way they should be. It's a Friday. Let's get some serious business underway. The 2019 elections in Nigeria on the political horizon, nothing is more important. And I thought our friend, who is always very good to us, he comes by and gives us a progress report. I'm talking about Mike Igini, who is the resident electoral commissioner in Akwa Ibom State. Mike, once again, we're delighted to have you.
Thank you very much, Yori. Thank you for having me.
Indeed, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everything is so busy now. I imagine there's so many balls in the air. We're in the primary season right now. Before I go into some questions that I had for you, since INEC is involved with every primaries, or should be as an observer, I wonder, since some of those primaries have been conducted without incident, but some are being referred to as controversial, does INEC have a general impression as to how well the parties did in conducting these exercises?
Well, thank you very much, Yori. In any democracy, the primary duty of political parties that are the essential organ and pillars of democracy is the selection of candidates for election. That is the first and primary duty of political parties in any democracy. The selection of candidates for election. As a matter of fact, what we call general election is a mere final affirmation between and more the candidate already chosen by political parties. And that is why we describe political party as an essential pillar of democracy. And so, almost 20 years of this democracy, what happened between on the 18th of August till on the 7th, which is the last day, as you rightly described, has been the outcome of the primaries. Controversies here and there. We are only involved to the extent that as an umpire by virtue of Section 85 of the Electoral Act, we are expected to observe the process. And one of the things we did since 2011 when we came on board on how to bring about internal party democracy was to develop some templates, because the truth of the matter is that the choice for who becomes a candidate of a political party should always be the business of political party, not of that of INEC. In fact, God forbid that the day will come that INEC will begin to choose candidates for political parties. But however, in view of the problem we have had in this country by political parties not being able to conduct primaries, we developed some templates to determine the level of our involvement. And that is to say that it will no longer be a situation where you invite an INEC official to the venue of a polling primaries, and what you do is just to be watching them. No.
Okay.
So the template was that, look, first, for a proper primary to take place, we must have a committee set up as required by the appropriate organ of all political parties. 2, there must be a program of that primary, rules guiding it, in line with their respective constitution. We made that available to us. 3, there must be a venue, because one of the things they've been doing it before, that they will put a particular venue. On a day or few hours to that time, they will shift it without telling their members. So we said there must be a venue, not to INEC official too. 4, there are about 14 in that category, so that we can bring them to have internal party democracy.
Now, is this going to be deployed in the future, or is this the template that is in operation?
We have deployed that. We've been deploying it. As a matter of fact, to give you some records here, before 2019, those who normally have the highest casualty of primary outcomes is members of National Assembly, state house, legislative bodies. They normally have the highest number of casualties. For instance, in 2003, 70% of members of National Assembly did not return. Only 30% returned. In 2007, 76% did not return. In 2011, when we came aboard and we developed this template, it dropped down to 68%.
Okay.
2015, 68%. All right? It didn't drop. Because by those, you remember what happened in Cross River? When a primary was not done, I signed the document that, Governor, all of you, have you not done these primaries? It can never, I will never sign it. And the commission endorsed it. That, look, it was not done. It was the court that saved the situation. That was even the history behind Section 31, when they said they're realizing that INEC had developed this kind of template, provision of Section 31, additional amendment, that because it is envisaged that you would have fulfilled the requirement of Section 87 of doing that direct primary or indirect primaries. Then after doing that, then you can now avail yourself the requirement of provision of Section 31, which says that you should not provide a list of those who have successfully gone through this process and submit to INEC. Following the template we developed and seeing the effect, what happened in Cross River, they now added an omnibus provision to Section 31 that provided that whatever list they send, INEC cannot reject for any reason whatsoever. And they deleted Section 87, subsection 9 of the previous Electoral Act, which says that when INEC has be present in a particular place where primary was done, based on our own template now, and Mr. Iyori has emerged in that primary, when you are going to submit your names of your candidate to INEC under Section 31, it will not be expected, because I'm already having the report that you emerged in that primary. You can no longer submit a name of other person other than Iyori. Under Section 87 or the previous, something that was deleted, from the Electoral Act, INEC will now say, look, on the primary that was conducted, we were there. Iyori was the one. Why are you submitting another name?
Okay.
So they ambush INEC at that point. But so far, I want to say this here. Across the country, on the January 2018, we gave a timetable to all political parties containing 14 broad activities. We are now in stage 6,
okay. Now,
leading to that election. But the point
before you continue, I wanted to bring something up from what you said. The business that INEC will actually observe all of these and will be a bit better involved than in the past. Now, is there a deadline for substitution? How has substitution, because you've said, look, what you observe, somebody can't come along now and come and say it is someone else.
Right.
That the whole doctrine of substitution, how can it be done properly? Because there might be reasons. I wanted to ask about that.
Good. You see, by what they have done with Section 31 of that Electoral Act, they can only find their way into the system. But the point is this. Given what happened before, under the old Electoral Act, that says that political party could substitute for reason of error, the particular of error that are never stated. Okay. The position of the new law, and you remember, this is very important here, because before the primary started, we were on this program a month back to draw attention to what will happen, and they have already happened. What we are doing today is to also let politicians know now that by virtue of Section 33 of the Electoral Act, political parties shall not be allowed, unlike previous time, to just recklessly submit any name, except on the ground of death or withdrawal, voluntary withdrawal.
By the person.
By the person. And I must warn here, because some people are already going on that ground now. Because the law said that it's only when somebody dies that you can substitute. Don't go and start killing anybody. Because people are already going on that ground right now.
Can you imagine? You people observe
the law says it's only death. So if it's only death, I don't want to see that people are
Yeah.
suddenly disappearing. Because, but the point is, furthermore, the voluntary withdrawal from the candidate, 2 grants only. Section 35 of the Electoral Act. It says that having submitted the name to INEC, for example, the ones for presidential candidate and National Assembly have been submitted, all right? And we made the publication since on the 24th of October. Today, we are, of course, the names for governorship, members of House of Assembly, 991, that will be in all the houses, all right, have been submitted. Today, we are making that display. It is only a candidate that voluntarily decide to withdraw that could do so. And he must do so on notice in writing, signed by himself, and submitted to the political party. There's no political party on its own without the knowledge of a candidate whose name has been submitted to the commission. Can do that again. Hiding under the ground that by virtue of Section 222, it's only a political party that can sponsor a candidate for election in Nigeria. That provision have also now been circumscribed, by this
it's interesting.
statutory provision.
I wonder,
and it's very important to take note of that.
Well, whereas it might sound complex, but if you're in a political party system or if you're an INEC, it's not that complex because people should avail themselves of what the standards are. Yesterday we were talking about the situation in Rivers State. Now I know it's in court, but I wonder if what you have explained to us, the governorship primaries going on there, we had someone in yesterday, and all the parties are talking about, when I say the parties to the issue within APC are talking about it. On the one hand, there's the Senator Magnus Abe. On the other hand, there's the, Tony Williams, the preferred candidate of the leader of APC in the place. And the court is involved. I wonder if you're at liberty to comment in lines of, since 2 kinds of primaries were held in there, parallel primary, what INEC is observing. I keep on saying, I know it's in court, and I know you yourself being a lawyer, you're going to be quite circumspect, but can you remove some of the fog on that from a strictly legal point of view?
You see, democracy and the rule of law, they are like social orchestra. In fact, democratic orchestra is conducted by the instrument of the rule of law. All the issues around what's going on in Rivers State borders on rule of law and adherence to the rule of law. As a lawyer, and with a time-honored tradition, interestingly, most of all the matters, as you alluded to, they are already before the court. You see, I have listened to some of my colleagues in the profession, politicians, especially their opinion on the matter. The truth of the matter is that even when lawyers begin to argue on any legal matter, it goes to nowhere until there's an arbiter. And so, the best that one should say, for now, with respect to Rivers State, is that, the matter already before the court. And that's the essence of democracy and the rule of law. The rule of law is a graceful ornament of society. In fact, it's the corinthian capital of a polis society.
So I think it's going to wait on the court.
Yes, we've got to. But you see, the interesting is that the train is moving. The electoral process is moving.
There is a time limit.
I know the other time I was trying to tell you how they decide to box themselves across the country on this tight corner. We don't know. We gave, from January, we gave a window of this is what is going to happen as from on the 18th of August to on the 7th. You know what they were doing? They were playing hide and seek, particularly the major political parties. One will fix their timetable in August, they will shift it to September. After you shift from September, they move into October. To the extent that all of them ended up doing primaries 11 hours. And that's why I said, look, midnight they were calling us that they want to do primary. How can you do, have I been conducting election in the night? You can see the crisis that is going on. And that's why I said, look, what they have done, they are like people who went to contract marriage in an evil forest. Who will be your visitors? That's what is going on. They went to Igbo Forest. Midnight, that's when they are conducting primaries. Somebody wake me up to come. Of course, it didn't happen in Akwa Ibom. But most of my colleagues were telling me, they were waking them up 10 o'clock that they want to do primaries, that we gave a notice in January. We reminded them, in your program here, we were here a month before that exercise. And we reminded Nigerians, why were they doing that? Because nobody wants to benefit from the outcome of the other primaries. To the extent that other political parties that had just come up, funny enough, some of them were also waiting to harvest from the outcome of the primary of the major political parties, with the consequence that when it got to a level where they could not do anything, in one some of the state, people were supposed to be aspirant for governorship in new parties. They defected to one of the new political parties as members to tell you the shenanigans that's ongoing. But with respect to substitution, it can only be voluntary withdrawal of the candidate or by death. And the caveat I've sounded before should be taken very seriously.
Let nobody go and be killing anybody.
That
by way of satisfying one of the
some of them now, if one of them come here that is going underground, I say, good for you, just go underground. Because the level of desperation today in the country is something unbelievable.
Now, what you're telling us, that's why we're so delighted when we have you, because at least we know we're speaking with INEC, so to speak. Right. And I wonder if INEC has asked questions of the senior political figure who says that original INEC reports reside with me. Don't worry yourself. Whatever you're doing out in the field, I'm talking about Mr. Akpabio, I have the original INEC reports. I don't know. I don't speak for him, but I would just, hearing that, I would say, well, politicians, that's going to be political speak. But perhaps INEC is not taking that joke lightly. Has INEC asked questions that, sorry, what was that you were saying? Because you must have heard it as well, where someone says that the original reports are with him.
No.
Will be with him.
Look, I must say this here. And you see, for 2019, critical agencies that are responsible for midwifing a credible election for our country, for the sustainability of democracy, must stand tall and mighty in defense of democratic values. The advice of the Commission to all of them who are making this type of volatile, very disempowering statements that tend to discourage people, perhaps reminding people of what they used to do before, is that people who have held public offices, even if you are not held in public office before, and who are also even having some of our title or having our medals, national awards, must be circumspect, must be careful over what they say.
Unless they're speaking the truth.
We can see arrogance or blind belief across the country.
Okay. Because the danger is that he might be telling the truth until someone says,
yes.
Poppycock.
So for Commission, we have spoken very clearly. And the best way to demonstrate that is the process that we are going through now. Look, Iyori.
So it's not really possible.
It's not going to
It's not possible.
Look, it's not going to happen. Look, listen. If original result sheet and material will be with somebody, what's my job in Akwa Ibom? I should just leave the place. There will be no work for INEC. If somebody else is going to be doing that work, then I have no job. Then I should come back to Lagos. Look, I have a permanent office here in Lagos.
Yes, yes.
That is there. We have a permanent office.
So, but the danger is that gullible people.
But here is the good news. Yes, first, that kind of statement had the capacity to disempower people, to discourage people. These are very strong men and other. Strong quote and unquote. You see, Nigerian politicians, when they are talking the way they talk, remove security personnel from them. They are weak. They can't do anything. Election cannot be rigged without the complicity of the officials of the EMB or security. Security and INEC, they are very crucial in having a credible election anywhere, at least in our country, where everything now is about security. And no security, as I've always said, it's a binary subject. It's either there's security or no security. But here's the good news. In 2019, in the entire Federal Republic of Nigeria, anywhere people are making such statement, it will not work because election will be held for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Office will be held for the position of 109 senatorial districts, the 360 federal constituencies of the country, the 991 state constituencies, and the outstanding governorship election across the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the 120,000 polling units, Akwa Ibom of 31 local governments, 223, 27 RA, 2,980 polling units, ballot paper, original sheets of result sheets, ballot papers will be delivered to the polling units to be audited by duly accredited party agents in line with Section 41. They should start the process of getting their party agent now. We have shown them that in our program of activities to do that now. The poll will open on the 16th of February. After the end of the poll, when the last person shall have voted, the ballot paper will be sorted. It will be counted by the presiding officer. We have developed the EMS platform. We have enhanced what we call enhancement of the transmission process of the result in such a way that first in 2019 there will be no use of incident form at that polling unit. When the result is known, Form EC60E will be displayed there.
Okay.
2, the results will be transmitted straight to the server. The ward collation officer, before the presiding officer gets to the ward collation officer, the ward collation officer is already in custody of that result already. What the presiding officer is meant to do is to embark on what we call the auditory documentation process. He is now aware that that result, apart from being posted at the polling unit, is already in our central server. Before I come to you as a presiding officer, you already know the result from this polling unit. You are basically waiting for me.
Okay.
And when I come to you with the Form EC8A, at that point, the result I'm bringing to you, Yori, must be in tandem with what we have received already. Okay. So I'm no longer the alpha and omega of that data. And that is going to be the process up to the last point of collation. Look, there is ignorance in the land.
So I was going to say,
there is ignorance in the land. Politicians, don't go and embark on anything. Recruitment of, look, this morning, just go and check the newspapers. Custom have intercepted people, camouflage military uniforms. You know, the other day a CP was saying there's armed build-up. You know, are we going to war?
Indeed.
In a country where we are supposed to see election, a periodic election supplies working legitimacy to those who manage public affairs.
So it's good that you're explaining it like this, because it now falls into the category of fake news.
We have a robust system.
Because it has created fake news.
No, because our EMS platform is solid. It's solid.
That's in conjunction with the Nigerian postal system.
No, we are going to be working with conjunction with we're going to NICOMSAT, where we don't have reception. You know, we go to the start lights.
So it's not possible.
So and we expect that the highly placed individual should join all of us to do the right thing. Look at the cost of election in our country. We've got to think of, from 2019 up, we must think of how to reduce the cost of election in the country. And the reason of cost of election is because of volatile statement that people make. Because when you make such a statement, somebody will also want to resist. How your opponent will resist, we don't know. It is that resistance that will say, no, it must not happen. And that's why I'm calling for openness. Today, since on the 6th, the country we have produced, after consolidation, aggregation, consolidation, running of the office, and part of what we call the post-business rule, which we are now calling on Nigerians in language section 20 of the Electoral Act. We have displayed across Nigeria.
Indeed. I'm going to come to that, but it therefore means that Mr. Fabio must have been, well, he needs to have been told what we have just heard, that it's not possible.
No, we have been speaking.
So why are you misinforming people?
That is very wrong. It's total misinformation. It will not work.
It won't happen.
Look, let me tell you, those of us who have been engaged, holding a position of trust on behalf of the Nigerian people, we will not surrender these basic values, but rather we will continue to demonstrate conviction to be true to them by ensuring that the vote of the people, that those of us, we don't matter, but those who will cast the vote, that their vote must matter. And two basic indicia of measuring a credible election are process indicators. Our process must be such that Nigerian people could say it's a fair process.
Okay,
because we want to reduce going to election petition tribunal.
Yes.
That should not be the way out.
Indeed.
Look, when we are done, it's not like this primary that able to count ordinary 100 ballot paper. Is that not what they are doing 20 days? In fact, the whole country, look, through this primary, they have demarketed Nigeria so much.
I can imagine.
Investors are wondering. I mean, that country, people are holding back.
Now,
because we are doing primaries, we are messing up everybody.
Exactly. Now, moving into the election, the other problem Nigerians have had, or complaint they've had, is that of underage voters. How this is an anomaly, it's an aberration, and there have always been denials here. But where, you're going to be posting the registers now.
Yeah.
That seems to me to be a fine opportunity.
Fantastic.
To nip this underage voters problem in the bud.
Correctly. Look, Iyori, the Electoral Act.
The registers, they've been on from the 6th or so.
Yes,
They've been
we
displayed
started
from
on
the 6th.
Tuesday.
Yes, from the 6th.
Now, this nation, from 2011, have made tremendous investments in the biometric compilation of the register that have been work in progress. It's not perfect, but it must be a basis for cleanup. Issues that led to the committee that was set up about underage in Kano. We promised this nation, in line with the law, that when we shall have completed the process of the then ongoing CVR that started on the 27th of April that ended on the 31st of August, that the Nigerian people will be given opportunity in the 120,000 polling unit to go and scrutinize the register, look at the register. We commenced that process on the 6th to enable Nigerians to do the following: claims and objections. Check the register before we do the final production. Across, not in the local government, not at the world level, at the polling unit closer to Nigerian people, to check for the following: diseased persons, people have died, whose names are still on the register. Because if they're going to be on the register, when we are producing the register, it's a cost to the nation. Please tell us, who is the better position to know? People who are in a locality, in a polling unit, they're in a better position to know those who have died. There's a form, EC2, for you to make that, point it out to us, our staff are there. Number 3, non-Nigerians, point them out. More importantly, and perhaps far more important, given the currency that have been given to it, incident of underage persons across Nigeria. And what we have done is to put both the picture, you will see the picture of everybody there. You already go to where you register. We are talking of the entire register. We have put it there. Nigerians, please go there now. Whatever you have, save now or forever keep quiet.
Hold your peace. Okay, this is a fine place to take a break. Don't go anywhere, please. We'll be right back, and we'll take your calls as well. So welcome back. So we have with us the resident electoral commissioner in Akwa Ibom State, Mike Igini. And as always, we talk all things INEC when he so fortuitously comes around. I said that the display of register commenced on the 6th. It's ongoing. But from today, there is something you call publication of particulars.
Yes.
Tell me about the publication of particular, because this relates to governorship and state legislators.
Yeah, basically, on the 2nd, party submitted the list of candidates for governorship as well as that of State House of Assembly. And in line with the law, we have made that publication. It's taking place today for people who have any objections as to what people have stated, to do the needful in line with the law. And so that is what is going on today.
Okay, so it's some sort of a like ban. So
exactly.
If you want to object to anything.
Yes, if you have whatever that you said that is not correct about yourself, and not any person, not any person, can challenge that in court. If you say anything that you are not, you made any false statement about yourself, which are contained in the affidavit, any Nigerian could challenge that. But basically, that is our own statutory responsibility, which we have done, and we just expect people to do that. But what is important is that register, because the foundation of a credible election must be based on a credible register. We want all of us to be part of having a register that we can be proud of. But good enough, look at where we are. No, we no longer have name of Mike Tyson, foreigners, and all of that. So, all things being equal, by the time we are done with this joint, collective, citizens, what do you call it, post-business rule stage where we are at the moment of looking at the register, we'll be looking at about 80 million, because at the end of the exercise, we registered a total about 14,551,472, registrants. If you add that to 67.7 million or 2015, and after all the cleanup, we are looking around 80-something million registrant Nigerians who will be participating in the 2019 election. And also, in line with the law, which is one of the things I talk about, political parties not having a register. INEC will publish this register officially, and copies will be given to political parties on the 7th of January. It will show the total number of Nigerians that will be on the register that will expected to participate in the 2019 election, state nationwide, state by state, local government by local government, ward by ward, polling unit by polling unit. But here we have political parties going for primaries. Members don't have a register.
That is what I was going to bring up.
They don't have a credible register.
Members with the same party.
I mean, there's one particular one, as they were saying they were going to primaries, party members were still registering. So the question is, what is the total number of people we are basing it on? See, but you're on this issue. You must also have to blame the National Assembly need to show serious concern. There was a debate yesterday. I watched the debate yesterday, the concern about the primaries. I just gave you the figure of the outcome of primary and how it has already affected the National Assembly. They had opportunity. And in this program, several, you remember in January, we'll be on the matter, on the need to do the needful, to prepare the country for a better primary elections. Because if you have that, aspirants should be able to campaign to delegate. Today, delegates are quarantined in a room. They show special uniform for them, they are like prisoners. Aspirants are not expected to talk to them in the morning. They just put them in a bus and take them to where they are to vote, and they return back. That's the kind of thing we are saying. And that is totally unacceptable, because the primary duty of a political party in a democracy, the first duty, is to present candidates for elections.
Indeed.
And Nigerians are limited by the choices already made by them.
Okay.
This is the challenge.
Mohammed in Kontagora, good morning.
Good morning,
Thank you very much for calling in.
My able REC from Akwa Ibom State there. Please, let me ask you one question, please.
Thank you.
Please, can you please take us through on the issue of civil servants participating in politics? Is it right? What level can civil servants participate in a political? Can he campaign for a candidate? Can he participate? Can he maybe contest an election and the rest. Please, thank you for your good work and thank your guests for your quite and elusive elaboration he has been giving Nigeria. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmad.
You know, very quickly, all Nigerian citizens, they have a right to vote. Civil servants, while you are still serving, you cannot participate actively in politics, other than the fact your right to vote. However, if you wish to, run for an office, to be fully active in politics, you resign according to the law. Then you go and job. But you cannot be a civil servant at the same time be active in involvement or in politics.
Yeah.
You have to resign if you are going to contest.
You
but your
have to.
right to vote,
Well,
to vote, you have that right to vote. But not for you to be going to campaign, to be seen in the campaign ground, for candidate. No.
Okay, because when you explain that, being active in politics is if you want to be voted for example, I was going to say that there probably are many other ways in which a person can be quite active beyond the spirit of what you are saying.
So you may not even use the word active. That the appropriate word, if you actually want to run for office, you resign and you go and run for office.
Okay.
Other than that, you are entitled to vote for any kind. Because you listen to everybody, who are canvassing and all that. You have a right to do that. You don't have a special market. It's the same market we all go to. As a matter of fact, it's only in Nigeria. For part of what we even say that the total number of votes, the voter turnout is so low, it's not absolutely correct. Because here is a country where, for example, I don't vote. Why should I not vote? Why should I not vote? I have a right to vote. In Nigeria, security men, they don't vote at the moment. Meanwhile, they're also having permanent voters card, their name on the register. In Ghana, if you are going to have election on Saturday, as we normally do, on Wednesday, all security personnel that will be involved, they will cast their vote on Wednesday. But the ballot paper, the ballot boxes will not be counted. They will wait until on Saturday before they do that. So we've got to go to that area, and of course, at some point, let's all get it around here. Otherwise, even diaspora voting, we can also do that.
Okay.
There are plans for all of that.
Yeah.
But we have to be gradual. Because even how to even organize ourselves here, we are still having problems locally here. We have not been able to perfect it because the elite of the country, they are the greatest enemy of the country. They are the one making it so difficult. All the killings you hear about, who are those? I don't know, the elite. Political violence, elite are the ones, and their families are not around.
And talking about the elite, INEC is in a position, or is part of the responsibility of INEC to uphold all the regulations, guiding any particular election. What can INEC do in terms of the spending limits? You just can't come and be spending unlimited amount of funds. We know that that's the rule. However, can INEC do anything about this? How can INEC maintain the specification that you can't spend more than this for campaigning? In other countries, we read that people are in trouble, haven't been accused of overspending. I don't know if INEC has any concept of the overspending as an offense.
Look, the problem of Nigeria is liking or akin to what Kamal...
Okay, let me, because that might be an involved answer, and I'm going to come back to it, but let me take Yusuf in Bida, and then I'll come back to this whole matter about overspending by politicians. Good morning, Yusuf.
Good morning. Good morning, Okoyori.
Good morning, sir. Please go on.
Please, I want to ask your guest about the PVC. We have some people here having more than one PVC card, and they see their names, some funny units.
Okay.
Some have like 4 PVC, and their name came out all.
And their photograph is on all those 4?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Very good. Okay.
Yes. But what they do, if they have a name like Yusuf Ali, you send some to Ali Yusuf or Ali A something Yusuf. That is why.
But the photograph will be consistent
Yes.
in all the four.
Photograph is all the same thing.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much.
Yes, very good question. Now, this is the beauty of what we've been asked all Nigerians to do now. Now, what he has described is a situation where, like it happened when I was a Cross River, an individual registered in different places. All right? And that's why when people talk about hacking, where they are deceiving politicians, how can you hack when we don't have that connected system? Because they are all separate systems we have everywhere. So that's why it's possible for somebody to register in different places. Now, the office process, within a ward, an average of 10 polling units constitutes a ward. Now, if you register within a ward and we aggregate the data, we consolidate, they will run the office. Once you are running that process, it will show that the same picture, one person, it will bring all of them together. Now, once we are done with that ward, you now move to the entire local government, because wards, numbers of wards constitutes local government. You will now run the same thing, and the same thing will also happen. Now, once you are done with that, you now do the entire office across local government. Now, what we are doing now is bringing all of this out. And once we run that process, all of these things will be fished out. In any case, even if you are having 4 PVCs with you, you know, the way we do our voting now, on election day, you can only vote in one place. First, that 4, you cannot even use them. It can only be one. Even the one we are going to use, you cannot even use it twice, because the candidate will tell you it has been used before, because the candidate is polling unit specific. All right? So all of those things will be eliminated.
All right.
And that was why incident form was very helpful to the bad guys, because the idea of incident form was that you have come before me. You have shown your PVC. Your PVC is genuine. I can see you. But the only challenge we have is that we are not able to authenticate your biometrics. What we have done, we have enhanced the card reader, both in terms of hardware and software enhancement. And that's why all the recent elections we conducted, you don't hear incident about card reader. But far more important is the fact that we are no longer using incident form. Because what they did with incident form was to cleverly push the card reader aside and say, look, card reader is bad, so you cannot vote for both dead and alive by just using an incident form. Of course, that could also be possible because of the collusion of poll officials.
Okay, then. Reverend Dominic, thank you for holding on. Good morning.
Good morning, Yori. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you.
The unfortunate thing in INEC is this. We have one Mike Igini in INEC. I wish we have 2-3 Mike Igini in INEC. Mike has been part of us in civil society, and when he came into INEC, I thought he could have changed. But this one man who came into a public office and remained what he is when he was in private, office. God will bless you, Mike. But I want to ask a question, Mike. What is the role of INEC in some court cases about the candidates political parties are presenting? If INEC monitored a primary and Mr. A comes first, and the party brings Mr. B, just like what is happening in River State, what is the role of INEC in those cases? INEC is supposed to be a witness to tell my honorable judge, Mr. A is the one that we monitored, but we are surprised to see Mr. B. But when it comes in these court cases, INEC is aloof, and court gave their judgment based on whatever the lawyer thinks here. The question we are asking, what is the role of INEC in this court cases? Okay,
Reverend Dominic, thank you very much. Appreciate your call.
First, thank you very much, Dominic. I thank you for your kind words, but I also want to tell you the good news here, that the current commission you have is more or less brand new. The people that you find right now, they are of a class higher than the previous commission. I can say this here because of the background of the people that we have in the commission. All right? those who have served before were just few that came back. And so I can assure you that, particularly from the academia, you have more of doctors, professors, people who come from a very good background, strong values, who are in there. Most of them may not be on television all the time, you know, but I can tell you that the quality of people you have now, they are of a higher class than what you had before. Now, on the question as to the role of INEC.
For example, the River State situation that you cited.
Now, I can tell you that all INEC offices, based on that template, there are reports of how primaries were conducted or not conducted across the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What you need to do, if you are going to court, you all require is INEC report. Request for INEC, citizen of INEC report. Because what we are doing now, we have moved from that era where INEC goes to the court to be supporting somebody. That cannot happen. It doesn't happen under our watch now. For example, wherever I work, if anything goes wrong, because I will not be everywhere, of course, that's not an excuse not to be effective, because I must monitor, observe what is going on. But in the unlikely event that issue is raised with respect to how something happened that led to the return of a particular person, I will follow the fact where it leads to. And because I'm very aware of the provision of Section 136 of the Evidence Act, particularly Section 140 of the Evidence Act, which says that when certain facts are within the special knowledge of a person, the onus of proving those facts, must be on that person. I have a kind of near exclusive knowledge in terms of the preparation for the election, recruited personnel, and all of that. And so if it is called to question, I should be able to do that. But more directly to your question, Section 85 says we should monitor it. We develop a template. That template forms the basis of our report. But what they have done, what we could have done before, because the INEC you have now does not have, it's just mere an administrative body. It does not have regulatory powers like NAFDAC, like all this. We don't have all of that anymore. The only opportunity that we have given was the provision of Section 21, subsection 8 of the previous act, or particularly Section 87 of the amended subsection 9 of the previous act, where it says that where a primary is conducted, where INEC was present, and Mr. Yori has emerged after the counting and was declared as the winner, it will not be expected that when the party wants to submit the name of a candidate, if he brings another candidate other than Yori, after that time, the act says that INEC has the power to reject it on the basis of what he had previously observed. But what the National Assembly did was to delete that section.
But as you say that INEC doesn't have regulatory powers, I wonder...
It's not administrative.
So does that kill my question that who is going to accuse anybody of overspending in election?
Yes. You see, when we say...
because we complain that people are throwing billions.
Correct. So the question is, what is the consequence? Go and look at the Electoral Act. And to just tell you how unserious we are, Section 90, Section 91 talks about, 91 talks about limiting what a candidate could spend in election.
Yes.
All right? Stated the amount. Now, if you go to subsection 8C of 91, you can see that on the one hand, you place limits on a candidate, but you open the door for political parties. And you said under subsection 8C that in determining the expenses of a candidate for an election, that the expenses incurred by political party in respect of that candidate shall not be taken into account. So what the candidate can do is to go through the party to begin to spend that money.
Is Namdi still waiting with us? Good morning.
On one hand, you did this, another hand.
Namdi, is Namdi still on the line?
But we are developing templates.
Okay.
We are developing templates to check.
Good morning,
that. Good morning, sir. And I apologize most sincerely, but we wanted to. So please go ahead.
All right.
Good morning to your guests.
Mike Igini, Resident Electoral Commissioner, Akwa Ibom.
Yes. Please, I just wanted to ask him 2 questions.
Well, go ahead with it. I think you can only get one in, please, because of the time. You can only get one question in.
All right. How can we stop this desperation from politicians? Because I know for a fact that it's because of the humongous money that we have, that we spend. That is why people are so desperate in politics today. How can we stop that?
Okay.
And then what is INEC doing to sensitize the public on electoral matters? How do we go about creating awareness?
Okay.
That's important.
You got your 2 questions in, but let's see how many can answer. Thank you very much for calling in, Namdi.
You see, in a weak and attenuated democracy like us,
Oh dear.
with weak institutions, where some of institutions are not also neutral, it is the collective civic consciousness of the people through INEC, an absolute, unqualified neutrality or security that will provide the opportunity for the people to get away some of the political Egyptians that you talk about, that you cannot see them anymore. For us, the process we are putting in place is to help to check all of that. If you look at the incident of vote buying that people talk about, it's a direct response to the fact that, unlike before, where you could collude with just INEC officials in time past and security, you don't care about the people. But with the robust procedure we have put in place, they are now going to the people to buy them. In fact, regrettably, electorate, they are not even disappointing us now. They are betraying the commission because we are saying that the ballot, we must give meaning and purpose to the ballot. The very people we are protecting, they have now joined the elites by collecting money from them. Vote buying, which is a debasement of the ballot system. Because when you buy votes, it means that there will be no incentive for somebody in office to even perform, because after all, everybody wants to buy vote. That is terrible.
All right, then.
We have responded by rearranging administration of our polling units. We also draw the attention of everybody to section 125 of the Electoral Act that talks about the secrecy that everybody, presiding officer, assistant, party agent, you are not expected to communicate the intent of a voter to anybody.
All right, then.
And so that is a very serious issue.
Yeah.
Section 124 is also there.
I'm sorry. I want to bring Yakub in because he's been waiting for a while too. Good morning, Yakub.
Yeah, it is very good morning, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in.
And then good morning to Mike Igini, the friend of the house.
Thank you, sir.
Even though we really miss him a lot in this studio. But having seen that, we miss Mike Igini because I believe if Mike Igini has never been appointed as INEC Residential Electoral Commission in one of the states in this country, to club his child against the 13.5 million running cost the senator gets. But the job that Mike Igini is doing now, it does not allow me to do so. But I believe he's doing a very good job. But my question this morning to Mike Igini is this. In every election in this country, in the day of election, we always shut our economic down. I want to ask, what is INEC putting in place in order for all Nigeria to go electronically so that I can be able to vote on my phone? And then I will still continue my business as usual.
Thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much for calling in.
You are very correct with respect to how elections like we are going to war shoulder the economy.
Yes.
That's not what happened. Nigeria cannot be in autarky of best practice and all that. But we are very conscious of our level of infrastructure. We are going on a very gradual basis. I just explained to you the process of enhancing. You know, collation has only been an issue in Nigeria. We have now open up that place very well, today to bring increased transparency. We're going to tell you that with more elections, I think that the statement of Alfred Smith that the ill of democracy will be cured by more democracy, indeed will be very, very apt.
And that's a fine place at which to leave it, Mike. It's been a roller coaster. You've touched base on quite a number of places. And I'm also happy that I sort of got some inkling into this whole matter about overspending or not overspending. INEC is hamstrung. You've explained the Constitution also and the loophole that possibly can be used until we get more serious. We get more serious with this whole matter.
But one needs to, we just talk about constituency election.
Yes.
Even though that we are rent collectors, we are going to have some constituency election. In America, if somebody dies a year before a general election, you don't go and do election again. But we keep spending money on election. On the 17th here, we are going to have some constituency election. When we have just about 190-something days to election. Because public office in Nigeria is not the in thing now. Everybody want to go in there.
Thank you very much, Mike Higini, legal practitioner and resident electoral commissioner in Akwa Ibom State. Thank you very much for coming on. I wish you all the best in your arduous task. So that's our program today. Please join us almost at tomorrow, but you know what I mean. It's actually going to be on Monday. For a fresh edition, 10:30 in the morning. Do have a great weekend. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.